Good morning, everybody. Eric Lofholm here. Happy Wednesday. It is great to be with you on this beautiful Wednesday morning. And today is a special day because today is February 1st. It's the first day of the month. And in my mind, it's a mini January 1. And if you think about when we go from December to January, and it's a time for us to make new decisions about how our life is going to be different. And so I create that for myself 12 times through the year. So today could be one of the most significant days of your life. Because today you could go, you know what? It's February 1st. I'm going to make some new decisions about what is going to be different in my life. And maybe that decision is something that you've been tolerating. And you say, you know what? Today's the day. I am not going to tolerate that anymore in my life. I'm not going to be treated that way by this other human being anymore in my life. Today's the day. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of not having enough money in my bank account. And today's the day I'm going to have the motivation to go out there and create more finances in my life. Or maybe today's the day with your fitness. You say, you know what? I said January 1, I'm going to start doing the things necessary to get in shape. And here it is, February 1. In January, I didn't do it, but today's a brand new day. And something clicks in your mind right now, and you make a decision, and all of a sudden, everything changes. And you take on the identity, I am lean and fit. And you start being lean and fit with your fitness. Or you start being massive action with your finances. There exists a future you that has potential to produce results far superior to the results that you're currently producing. You and only you can access that potential. There exists a future you that has potential to produce results far superior to the results that you're currently producing. You and only you can access that potential. And the way we access that potential is by taking action. Action is the number one key ingredient to all success and all achievement. Because with action, anything is possible, and without action, nothing is possible. And sometimes we get stuck in analysis paralysis. I want to improve my fitness, but I'm not sure what foods to eat, or I'm not sure what exercises to do, or I can't get myself to the gym, and then we do nothing because of analysis paralysis. So February could be, hey, let's put analysis paralysis to the side. One of my personal focuses for the month of February is, Eric, execute on the plan. Execute on the plan. Eric, you created the plan for a reason. Execute on the plan. So I've got just a short message for you this morning, and this is one of my new favorite ideas. And I was listening to a YouTube video of Werner Erhard, and he was the gentleman who created what is now Landmark. Some of you are familiar with Landmark. I'm a graduate of Landmark, and I was watching this YouTube video of Werner Erhard, and he was talking about this distinction, and I don't remember if he said sit with it or be with it. And to me, they're both the same as far as what it means in my mind. Instead of looking for the solution, just sit with it. So I want to tell you about a couple coaching calls I recently had. And one was with a woman, could have been a man, happened to be a woman. And she is a little uncomfortable with sales. That's what I do for a living. I teach sales. And so like, sales is kind of like it's kind of icky. Like, I want to stay away from that. And she wants to quit her corporate job and become a full-time entrepreneur. And in order to do that, she's going to need sales. But where she's coming from is this like this. All right. So if you put yourself in her shoes, she's in a corporate job. She wants to become a full-time entrepreneur, replace her income, being an entrepreneur. And if you're like this about sales, it's pretty challenging. So what I said to her is, if you looked at my house and you were my neighbor and we share a fence and there's a little hole in the fence, you could look at my house through the hole in the fence and you'd have a perspective. You could come to the front door of my house, same house, different perspective. You could come in my house and be in the kitchen and you could look at the house from the kitchen perspective and you could experience it that way. You could be in the upstairs and you could experience it that way. You could be in a helicopter over top of my house and you could experience it that way. And it's still all the same house, but it's a different perspective. So if her place she's coming from with sales is like this, like, I don't really like sales. Okay, that's like looking at my house through the hole in the fence from my neighbor's perspective. It's only one perspective. So I told her, I said, I want you to sit with this idea around sales, and I want you to consider becoming a master of sales. That's a jump from this to master of sales. And I said, I just want you to sit with that idea. Just play with it in your mind. Ask yourself questions like, well, what would that look like? If I was to master sales over the next 10 years, what would that look like? Is it even possible? What would I need to do in order to master sales? See, a person that's like this with sales, they're not thinking about the possibility of mastering sales. I want you to think about that. And let's pull the word sales out, because maybe you're not in sales. Let's put in fitness. And you're living in a story of, every time I say I'm going to go to the gym, I never go. That's one perspective. So what would it look like if you were to have the ideal body in 12 months or less? What would that actually look like? So you're probably not thinking like that. Is that even possible? What kind of discipline would I need to have? What kind of motivation would I need to have? What kind of structure would I need to have? What type of support system would I need to have? What kind of motivation would I need to have? See, people don't think like that. They're just like, every time I say I'm going to go to the gym, I don't do it. And that's the end of the conversation. So Warner's talking about sit with it or be with it. Just be with this idea of, I can't get myself to follow through on going to the gym or making my prospecting calls, or I'm in a bad marriage. If somebody's coming from that space, I'm in a bad marriage, and they're just living in I'm in a bad marriage. Well, what would it look like if you were to create the most passionate, loving marriage experience you've ever had, even back more passionate than when you were in the honeymoon phase? What would that actually look like? How would you need to show up differently than how you're currently? See, people don't think like that. Well, most don't. So I want you to try this idea on. Sit with it. Be with it, whatever it is. In my one client's case, it has to do with her mastering sales. Now, by the way, when she takes that on, her whole world changes. She will, with my help, experience true transformation. Becoming a full-time entrepreneur, replacing her income, living her dream, having the impact that she's destined to have. All by having a shift in thinking. So I got one other story to tell you guys. So I got another client that I'm helping. And she wants to find Mr. Right. And so we're having these conversations about how would she need to show up in order to find Mr. Right. And one of the things that I've been helping her on is when she looks in the mirror to see how extraordinary she is. And I said, look, when you end up finding Mr. Right, you're like the lottery winner in terms of you're the lottery prize. You're the $500 million prize. And he gets to have you as this $500 million prize, if you will, just as a concept, not as a possession, as a concept. In other words, I'm saying to her, you're special. You're amazing. And you're bringing that to the relationship. So we're not going to settle. If somebody's going to win the sweepstakes called you, we're not going to settle. And I'm getting her to see herself. I'm seeing her so she can see her. She can see what she's bringing to that relationship. And this, if you're like, well, I'm already in a relationship. What does it have to do with me? It's not about a relationship. It's about seeing your worth. I can be in a relationship with my wife and I can work on seeing my worth. I can be the owner of my company and I can work on my relationship with myself to see my worth. I can be working with a client and I can work on seeing myself and the value that I'm bringing that client. And that's a growth area for me too. Because I'm a former cook at McDonald's, college dropout. I used to be Mr. Low Self-Esteem. Nothing special about me. That's how I used to think. I didn't see myself as extraordinary me. Not as a statement of ego, but as a statement of, I have unique gifts and talents. You do too. You have a purpose in life. You have many purposes in life. The question is, are you acknowledging that? That's what I was helping her to do. In the context, it was about attracting in a romantic relationship. But in order for her to do that, I wanted her to see, and I want her to continue to see herself and the value that she's bringing to that relationship. So she can be confident in knowing she's bringing something extraordinary, because she is extraordinary as a human being. So I got a couple of ways that we can work together beyond these old motivational calls I do on Facebook. And thank you guys all for being here. We had over 600 views on the live I did yesterday, which was like mind-blowing to me. Like, that's a big number to me. There was 86 likes or something, a lot of comments. And if you got value from today's class, just type the word yes in the chat. I love that. Feel free to hit the like button if you liked it. But there's some other ways we can work together. And one of them is next week, I'm launching a $10 a month health and fitness program with my kids. I'm going into business with my 17-year-old daughter, my 20-year-old son, and the Lofholms, the three of us. We're going to motivate you on your fitness, you and your entire family, for $10 a month. So that's going to be something awesome. If you're wanting to step up your fitness game, you want to check that out. It's obviously totally affordable, and we would love to help you. The second thing is this Friday, 2 days, I'm doing a prospecting class. I prospected a billionaire last week, and I'm going to teach you my best formulas for prospecting totally free. So if you like that class, just find me somehow. Message me on Facebook, or if you have my cell phone, text me or email me, eric@ericlofholm.com, firstname@fullname.com. Hey, send me the info on that prospecting class, and I'll send it to you. It's this Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, and if you can't make it live, you can get the recording. And lastly is I'm doing some awesome wealth training with my partner, Rob. And if you would like to learn some really practical ways for wealth building for you and your family, reach out to me. Hey, Eric, tell me more about that wealth thing. I'm interested in learning more about how to get ahead financially. It's been awesome to be with you guys on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Life's what you make it. Today's a beautiful day if you create it as that. Go out today and produce whatever producing looks like for you. If producing means driving your kid to school or making dinner for your family, then do that. If it's prospecting, then do that. If it's running a sales call, then do that. If it's posting on social media, then do that. If it's creating a video, then do that. If it's getting to the gym, then do that. If it's doing some push-ups, do that. If it's reading your goals, then do that. Go out there and produce today. Thanks for being here today, guys. We're going to do it again tomorrow at the same time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.